How's it going? Let's talk about the TMC life, the day of a TMC truck driver. That's in orientation. I don't know anything else. Anyways, um, so let's talk about orientation and what it's like to be in orientation at TMC. So I called up the recruiter one day, and was like, hey, I want to join, like, what do I need, blah, 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 all this. Obviously, I was just about to say, obviously, you need a Class A, but that's actually not fully true. They do accept people who don't have a Class A license, and then you can get your Class A with them. I didn't do that. I actually worked for another company. They paid for my CDL, and I got that in April of 2026, so this year. And then I ended up going to, I quit with them because whatever. I don't even really honestly even want to talk about what happened with that company because I moved on. But, went to this company, and I only knew about TMC because of a recruiter who came to the school while I was there. And he was talking about, like, you get the percentages of your loads instead of mileage, but if you want, you can still take mileage pay. And so I'm like, dang, like, this is actually interesting. Like, you usually never get percentages of loads, like, at any company, as far as I know. And I could be wrong. Like I said, I've been in the CDL world or in the trucking business, I guess, for about 5 years now, but that's me working on trucks. I was a diesel mechanic before I got my CDL. So I was just in there and I was like, dang, that's cool. And so after I was done with my company, my other place, I called them and was like, hey, I'm interested. Like, when can I start? And that's me, like, I'm a go-getter. I was like, hey, can I start, like, right now? And they're like, well, we have to do, like, you have to fill out the application still and do all this and do all that. Okay, whatever. So I filled all that out. They got back to me, I think a couple days later. They said, I live outside of the hiring area. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? They're like, well, I have to get it approved because you're only like 25 minutes out. So I only live like 20 minutes out of the area. And I live in Minnesota, so I don't even know if I should be saying that on the internet, but I don't care. But yeah, I live in Minnesota, but I live just right above the hiring area out of their big circle that they have. So they called back, said I was approved, so I was able to at least get that done. Then they had to do a background check and all this other stuff. So they did that. Then they contacted me about how, like, my transportation, if I'm driving out there myself to Des Moines, Iowa, or if they need to give me a rental. And I was like, well, give me a rental because of course my truck is broke down. I have a Ford, ha ha ha. And so they gave me a rental, and then she kept calling me, and she was like, well, in the you'll get it on that Friday, and then go out there Saturday, and then I went out there Saturday. Fuck, I'm trying to think of exactly. She contacted me Friday, and I left she contacted me Friday, and I left Sunday. So it gave me Saturday. I packed, and so Sunday I went to the airport, Minneapolis, and grabbed the rental vehicle, which I was never grabbed a rental from there. So I was like, where the fuck do I go? We got lost. We went in areas we probably shouldn't have gone. Is what it is. I didn't have to ride with anybody, so usually they would make you ride with somebody else out there to the orientation place with. I didn't have to do that. I got to be by myself, which was awesome. I finally get down there, checked in on the hotel that also TMC owns, and then returned the car at the Iowa airport, kind of right next to there. They gave me a shuttle back to the hotel, and then I stayed in the hotel Sunday night till Monday. And then we started the classes on Monday at 7 a.m. Is when the bus left. And then went over to the class. Then we, that same day, on the first day, they made you take like a drug test and then do a whole physical so you can get a DOT physical so you get the paperwork. Even though mine was already valid, I still had to do it. So just letting you guys know, if your stuff is still valid, you still have to do it. And I think it's because of insurance reasons. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's because of insurance reasons. So that was the first day. Then the rest of the week we were doing like classroom work, like videos and all this other stuff. They give you multiple breaks. Like we took probably 5 different breaks, and they were all like an hour long, hour and a half, 20 minutes, like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. That was like the whole first week. And then we ended up working on the weekend, because when you're down in orientation, as my experience, we didn't get a day off. We technically did, and I'll tell you the reason why here in a minute, but in my experience, usually the 2-weekers wouldn't get a day off for the 1-weekers, and the 1-weekers are people who came in with the CDL and they have the experience. They've been driving before dinosaurs were born or something like that. I don't even know. Just a joke, guys. Don't kill me if you see me out there. So I didn't get the break, but so Saturday and Sunday we were doing load securement because it's a flatbed company. We were showing like how to, gotta undo the roll and then throw the strap over and all this other stuff. We did that, and then we also learned just how to do chains and secures and tarping and all this other stuff. So that was Saturday and Sunday we did that. And then that next week on Monday we started doing the backing yard and driving in Des Moines, in the city itself. And I was doing all right. I think I could have done a little bit better, but I also definitely know I could have done worse. I didn't get booted for any reason. And I wasn't really out there to make friends, even though I actually did make a couple of friends. I was just trying to get, out there, get my orientation shit done and go out with the trainer, which I'm with now. I guess more about the backing. So the backing range, so for me, we didn't do the simulators either. They said we could take the week off for simulators, so I didn't have to do simulators. And obviously I didn't have to do their school, because I had my CDL. The backing is called a serpentine, which I'm sure if you look it up, you can see what exactly that is if you don't know. And then you have to do 45-degree backup, and then you also have to do like a big old figure 8. And a little story on the figure 8, okay? The first day I hit so many cones, like I seen them, I'd go out there, I'm like, fuck, bro. It's like, god damn it, I had to hit all these damn cones, so I had to go pick them up. Well, I didn't pick them up because I thought the instructor was like, just go on to the next station and I'll pick it up for you. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, fuck, okay. So when he gets on the bus when we're taking a break, and he's like, make sure you guys pick up your damn cones. And I was like, damn, my bad. I'll take the blame. I'll take the heat. All right. So then the second day when I was doing, nothing else really bothered me. Like the serpentine and the 45-degree, I didn't really have an issue with that. Like it took me a little bit, but I got it all done, and they could see that I did well on that. My bad. They could see that I did well enough. So I felt pretty confident in that portion, but that figure 8 kept fucking getting me. And then the second day I was doing it, I got out of the truck. I was like, yes, I didn't hit any cones. You know, I was like clapping. I was like, let's fucking go, baby. Like just hyping myself up. I go to the instructor. He's like, Mr. Decker, you failed. I was like, well, what do you mean I failed? There's like no cones dropped down. Funniest shit ever. He's like, well, your bumper went in between the cones 3 different times, and you hit a cone, but you must have not seen it, but it never fell over. I was like, it's like, great, dude. It was just like funny as shit. So I was like, damn, bro, I was boosting up my own ego just to like, for him to be like, yo, Mr. Ducker, you failed. And I'm gonna be honest, these instructors, they weren't bad. And they give you a little packet. Actually, I could show you what the packet looks like really quick, honestly. My bed, I'm in the hotel room till tomorrow, then we're taking an oversized load to Oklahoma. My first ever time taking oversized. Anyways, somewhere around here, they got a little packet for you. Just see if I can find it real quick or something like that, bug. Cause knowing my ass, I'm not gonna be able to find it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where this damn packet is, but it's around here somewhere. I do know that. Anyway, so they give you a packet. It kind of explains to you on how to do everything. But so I was like asking questions. I was like, well, what would you do in this situation, like for the serpentine or for the 45 or whatever? Like, how exactly would you do that? And they wouldn't show me that. Like, use the packet, refer to the packet. And I was like, I mean, I have, but even though it's telling me what to do, I'm not seeing it in person. And I'm a visual learner, guys. Like, I'm not a packet type of guy, you know. And so the one guy that I absolutely did not like, because at the figure 8, he ended up being, I ended up loving him like halfway through, because he actually, it was funny as fuck. I was still struggling at that figure 8 the third day, and he comes, he's like, move over, passenger princess, we're going for a little ride. And I was like, shit, okay, bud. Funny as fuck. Love that guy. He helped me a shit ton, and that's respect right there, and that's something that I'm never gonna forget. Because yeah, even though it's just a tiny little figure 8 course, it's something that apparently you'll actually use while you're out on the roads by yourself and whatever. And I don't doubt that. I mean, you're not obviously going to do full figure 8, but, you know, like going around these corners or whatever. And then, so he actually did get in the truck with me, and he did help me. And after that, I did really well. So just kind of, I think I kind of pissed off the other trainers a little bit, because they're like, damn, he's doing really well on this now that he couldn't do for shit. But it's like that's what happens when you actually fucking show me. My trainer now, I am with the trainer now. I'm going on my 2nd week, and I have 2 more after this one, so it's going to be a total of 4 weeks. That's what majority of the people are going to get, unless you come and experience and you're out with a trainer for 2 weeks, that I have heard. And that's pretty much it. I guess the biggest rule is don't touch on the grass. At any TMC owned company, don't touch the grass. And yeah, it's been really fun. It's been hard. And don't go to orientation expecting that you're going to be good at it, because I mean, there's a lot of people even in my orientation class who, okay, like, if you can't pick up the tarp, they kick you the first day because you can't pick up the tarp. That makes sense. And it does kind of suck, because eventually, okay, you couldn't pick up the tarp there. Maybe your arm just hurt really bad or something, but you're strong enough. But if you couldn't pick up the tarp, because that's one thing you had to do, is you had to pick up a tarp, then we had to climb up the ladder, walk around the top, climb back down. But the tarp for me was the heaviest, because it wasn't even that it was like, I should say it's the hardest, but it wasn't even that it was the hardest. It was hard, but when I picked up the tarp, it was like trying to get it on your shoulder was like just an awkward movement that I've never done before. So I was just like, dude, I like it wasn't, like I said, it was kind of hard, but I got it. And I think I was like the first one to struggle at it, but I ended up getting it. And they do give you multiple chances too, that I've heard. I didn't need a second chance. I did it the first try, but I was struggling. Just because of that point, but I was able, like, I lift up the tarp now, and it wasn't that bad. Even like when I was actually in orientation, it wasn't that bad. It was just an awkward like lift up, and I didn't have a good technique at all. So they definitely, like, they are strict, but they are also willing. If you're actually trying and showing that you want the job, they will give you second chances, and as long as you're progressing, that's all TMC gives a shit about. Obviously, their saying is destination excellence, and so everything you do, you want to, anything you ever do. And I was kind of thinking about this the other day. Actually, though, I was like, I really enjoyed TMC. I've talked to many experienced drivers with TMC who's been there for years, and they've all been fucking cool to me, and they've all helped me and gave me a tip in some way, where another company, people would just be assholes. And so they've given me a lot of tips. I've made obviously a lot of like friends and all this other shit. But then not only that either, I was just thinking, it's like, when you're riding around, you're carrying the name with you. You're carrying TMC with you, or you're carrying whatever company you're with you, and then on top of like your last name. So I was just kind of like, I don't know even how I really thought of it, but I was just like, damn, man, like, this is like, I don't know. For me, I always try and be the best version of myself, and for my last name. And most companies, I'd be like, I don't give a shit about the name on, the back of my shirt. But TMC, I do respect a shit ton, and I haven't had any issues, but I've also always had help so far, because I'm out with the trainer. I was out with people in orientation. So yeah, don't go in there expecting that if you fuck up, you're not going to get the job. That's not the case. If you do something stupid, you're not going to get the job. But just try your best. Do what you can. You'll get the job. Come out here with a trainer for however long. You bust ass with a trainer. And if you don't like a trainer, you can call your training coordinator and be like, hey, I don't want to be with this guy. And they'll send you with somebody new. But I guess that's all I have on my TED Talk today. Tomorrow we're doing an oversized load, and we're bringing that all the way to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So that should be a fun one. But I'll stay tuned with you guys probably next weekend, or even when I get my own truck, because I'm getting my own truck soon, buddy. You don't got to worry about that. But alright, guys. I'll talk at you later.